morning, our topic is the Spirit of Light. And we know that there is a light within each and every one of us, right? And we let our light so shine before the world that they see our good works and glorify our Father in heaven. And what that means, those words, those biblical words, let your light, your energy, your consciousness, your positive mental attitude so light up the energy field that everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. Now we know that there are people that come into the room that absolutely light up the room. They have so much energy, and we want to be in their presence. And we also know that this is an uplifting presence, that you didn't tune in today just by chance, that we have a divine appointment, that nothing happens by chance, that when we listen to the still small voice of God within us, be still and know that I am God, the psalmist tells us. We are co-creators with that creative intelligence that we choose to call God. Call it anything you like. It's our higher power. It's our Father, Mother God. It's the energy of Yahweh, of Jehovah, of Lord Buddha, of Brahman, of Allah. There is one God. Allah is his name. It matters not what we call our higher power, but to acknowledge that which is within us is greater than that which resides in the world of conditions. What conditions? Pandemics, things that are showing up, new lockdowns. But what we know is underneath that is the energy of spirit. So all of these outer things, and when Jesus, who became the Christ, said, "Follow me and I will give you the light of life." I love this. Follow me and I will give you the light of life. He didn't mean follow Jesus of Nazareth. He meant that Christ consciousness that knows that I and my Father, Mother God are one and there is none else. Follow me. Follow that energy of light. Follow the upliftment that allows us to be in the world, but of a higher vibratory frequency. And when we resonate to that frequency, when we truly let go and let God do what God does best by means of us, we know intuitively at the very deepest level, I am the light of life. And that light so shines in the darkness that the darkness, what? Comprehendeth it not. And shadows flee away forever and ever and ever. This is how it works. So on this morning, you are the spirit of light. I am the spirit of light. That we let that light shine. And I love the old legend of the Alaskan, wonderful old primitive energy of the Alaskan legend that had the great medicine man who would awaken right before dawn, and he would get up and he would wave his magic blanket, and guess what happened? The northern lights appeared, and every morning he would awake right before dawn. He would wave his magic wonderful blanket, and the northern lights would appear. And every morning for years he did this, and everyone revered him. They worshipped him. This was the medicine man of magic. The magic that allows the light to so shine, and especially those northern lights. And one morning, as the gods would have it, he overslept. And guess what? The northern lights appeared anyway, because that light is within each of us. That magic blanket is within each of us. And as we wave it, the lights of the universe come on, because we are attuned with that energy. We are that medicine man. There is always a doctor in the house, right? Within the very heart of hearts of each and every one of us. There is a minister in the house. There's a naturopath in the house. There's a priest in the house, a priestess within us that we draw upon. And this is why I love our way of life. Remember, religious science, the laws of science, cause and effect, right? The laws of science, the opinions of philosophy, the revelations of religion applied to human need and the aspirations of every living soul. This is religious science. And Einstein said it best, religion without science is lame, and science without religion is blind, that they go hand in hand. And when we believe in the co-creative energy of the universe, and we allow that energy to go before us and prepare the way, as we become a lamp unto our own feet, as we become a lamp, a light, so that others will be drawn to our light. And this is the way, walk ye in it, in the light, in the opportunity to wave that magic blanket and to know that those northern lights are within us, and that everyone and anyone that comes within our energy field, they feel it. They want what we have. And I've had it throughout my life. What do you have? What are you on? What are you smoking? What is it? And I have the opportunity to share our way of life. And that this is a way of life for everyone, regardless of color, race, creed, sexual orientation, and I've added political affiliation. This is a way of life for all. We are all inclusive, each and every one of us. And I remember last year at this time, I went and visited at Christmas time my daughter and my wonderful family and beautiful son in love. And I had, these interesting pains in my heart. And it went down my arm, and it actually went into my jaw. And so I didn't want to alarm my family. I didn't say too much. But on December 26th, I said, I think maybe I need to go to urgent care. And this had been like the third episode, one a month. And I really didn't know what it was. I'm a naturopath. We have our wonderful Dr. Joan, who's a chiropractor, and that was my modality of acupuncture, of chiropractic, all of the natural ways. However, thank God for medical science when we need it. And so they took me to urgent care, and they said, well, there's an irregularity in your heart. And so we are now recommending that you go to emergency. So when I went to emergency, the woman was at the desk, and there were, a lot of people in emergency. And I really, I felt fine, but this, weird feeling that was going on. And at 3/4 in a century on the planet, I thought, well, I do need to get it checked out. And she was so loving, so caring, and said, take her immediately. And it's so interesting. I have little 14-karat gold angels. They are interfaith angels. And I gave her an angel, and I said, place it above your heart where your dreams reside, because anyone in my path who is giving and loving and caring, they're my angel. So I gave her an angel. And then this very handsome male nurse came and wanted to do a cardiogram that I just had at urgent care. But he said, no, we do it on the midriff. And I said, oh, okay, they did it differently at urgent care. But since we're so intimate, I at least need to get your name, right? And we had a good laugh over that. And so then he said, I'm not putting you with the sick people. I'm putting you in a different room. And I said, thank you very much. I said, because I know that this, whatever this is, that we believe in our way of life, that it has surfaced so it can be healed. And you're part of my support team. And I want you to know I really appreciate it. So guess what? I gave him my little 14-karat gold angel, placed it above his heart, where his dreams reside. And during this whole process, they did every test in the world, that my heart came out very, very well. And so then the doctor came in and said, we have diagnosed that you have such a big and generous heart that it just couldn't contain all of that light and the energy within you. So now, you were brought to us so that we could experience you. And so we had this, moment of joy, and I'm passing out angels. But I also knew that when I came home, that I would, have this checked out by a cardiologist, which I did. And he said, your heart is perfect. And there's just something with an acid reflux response that has the same symptoms as a heart condition, but your heart, and I had every test in the world, and how wonderful to have the confirmation to know that, yes, my generous heart sometimes overflows, right? And as it overflows, everyone in the energy field gets a little bit of that love energy. So it's wonderful to know that we are in the world. And that if we're in a hospital emergency room, we're still letting our light shine. We're being who we are. And that as we allow that light to so shine, something within us is expanded, right? Totally expanded. And I love the story of the Japanese emperor who was having nightmares. So he called in all of his advisors. And he said, I want you to go out into our land, find 3 artists. I want them to paint me a picture of peace so that if I have one of these nightmares, all I have to do is look at that picture, that painting of peace, and I will be calmed. So they went out into the land for the emperor, and they found 3 artists of note. They brought them in and told them what their task was. So each artist painted their vision of peace, and they were brought to the palace. And the first one was of a forest and had a light streaming through the beautiful leaves. And there were little animals, and it was filled with peace. And truly, this was an offering, a peace offering. The second painting was so beautiful. It was all of a cherry tree orchard. And it was just beginning to snow, so were there little bit of snowdrifts upon the beautiful cherry blossoms and on the ground. And through the cloud, there was a ray of light. And truly, the emperor said, yes, this truly is an offering of peace. I accept this peace offering. And then he went to the third painting, and there it was of a great sea and a waterfall. And the sea was, and the waves were crashing on the rocks. And you could see in the painting that it was splashed all over. And so the advisor said, oh, I'm so sorry, Emperor. I guess the artist didn't really understand what the assignment was, or he would not have painted something, with so much harshness. And the emperor said, oh no. Look, next to the waterfall there is a tree. And on the branch of the tree is a little nest with a bird sleeping. In spite of the waves crashing on the rocks and the waterfall and roaring down this beautiful Mount Fuji mountain, there is the branch with the little bird in the nest, unmoved by any of its surroundings. Ah, I will take this painting. This is a true offering of peace, because in the midst of the pandemic, in the midst of the dis-ease, in the midst of the pain, in the midst of all that is going on in the outer world, within our hearts is a little bird in a nest at peace. And when we receive this gift from the universe, we know from whence we cometh and whither we goeth. And that light shines in the darkness always. And that within the darkness is a divine spark. In the Kabbalah, I love that the great creator imbued humanity with this light. And the container within humanity could not contain so much light. So what did it do? It shattered in shards of light. And in the ancient Kabbalah, when every shard of light finds its wholeness, all of humanity shall rise up in a heavenly way. So remember that when we are frustrated, when we are feeling like, I just can't get it together today, there is a little bird in a nest within our hearts. There is a medicine man waving the magic blanket, and the northern lights appearing within each and every one of us as our humanness gives way to the divine, and the Christ consciousness arises triumphant and victorious. I am the light of the world. You are the light of the world. We let our light so shine before humanity that everyone and anyone who comes within our energy field is healed and uplifted in our presence. Follow me. I am the light of life. Follow that Christ consciousness, that Buddha nature, the holy I am presence that acknowledges the eternal flame within each of us. And as our humanness gives way to the divine, that's the phoenix, isn't it? From the ashes of burnt offerings, arising triumphant and victorious over what is going on in the world. Thank God for this light and each other. That when we embrace, we expand our light. When we connect, we expand that energy. So I know that we're all on the path. We're waving our magic blankets. We're acknowledging the little bird within our hearts and souls in a nest, unmoved by the outer world. And where are we going? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. Because we are in a high place and we will not come down. None of these outer things move us. We are in a high place and we will not come down. So I say, Namaste. The Christ in me salutes the Christ in you, and the Christ in you salutes the Christ in me. And if I'm in that place in me, and you are in that place in you, there are only one of us. Namaste. Shalom, the peace that passes all understanding. And God bless us, everyone. And so it is. Thank you very much.